Hello and welcome back to another live stream. So if you're here, say hello in the chat so I know who's watching. And let's see if we can get some questions rolling in. Let's see what happens. And let's just... I'm currently just having a look through the upcoming release schedule of Blu-rays to see what's coming out. Which out tomorrow is the Zodiac and She-Freak, which I just talked about the past couple of days. Good evening, sir. Catch All Media. What's up, Graham? Hope's all well across the pond. It is indeed. Everything is hunky-dory. It's a Sunday evening here, and it's the precursor to the working week ahead. Hello, Danny. Good evening, Cheetah. And greetings to Cinemaniac78. Hi, Steve. Yep, everything's fine. Just decided to pop on for a quick live stream today, kind of last minute. So do an hour, see what happens, see what the chat's like. I'm just having a look at upcoming releases to see what's coming out. Monkey Kung Fu, I think for me this week, I've already had the Zodiac Killer and She-Freak. Have you guys picked up anything recently? Is there anything you're getting? That's the indicator package next week. Joyce, is there any reason your voice changes depending on videos? No. I think it depends on the kind of videos I'm doing. Live streams seems to be slightly higher pitched than the recording ones. Is the credit card? No, because I'm just looking ahead because there's things I've already ordered. What I'm a little bit curious about is when this indicator sale is going to start. I'm assuming Friday. Jordan, good evening, Squire. And even Fab Myers has made it until 9 o'clock anyway. Stand in Silence is back, and it's really, really him. You got an order from the Criterion sale. You went with Red Shoes 4K, Throwdown, excellent, and The Life Aquatic. The last Anderson one, an upgrade from DVD, I assume. You know, I've still not watched The Life Aquatic as yet. Trying to decide on American Werewolf 4K, and if I get that, you have to get RoboCop. Out of the two movies, RoboCop is my favourite. You just caught up on some US 88 releases. Looking forward to Black Cat coming in as well. Yep, I've got Black Cat sitting there. Still to watch it. It'll probably be this week's project. Well, Josh, I was just looking. I've got the pre-orders coming in from this month. These four titles here. Mad Dog Morgan, A Time for Dying, La Lorna, and The Phantom of the Monastery. So those should be in soon. When it comes to the sale, I'll just see what I'm missing and what kind of tickles my fancy, if there's anything. Life Aquatic was great in the cinema. Yeah, it's one that I've just never got around to. I do have the Blu-ray sitting in another room waiting on me. RoboCop for sure of the two, but they're both great. You have both in blue and you're not sure if you want to upgrade. Yes, the upgrade question. Oh man, that's a tough one. I guess it depends how great your 4K setup is and whether you really want all the stuff that comes with it. Fuzz Aldrin, you saw Videodrome for the first time yesterday. Wow. I'd love to know what you thought of it, because that's a fantastic movie. Fab Myers, watched the new Scream movie last night. Have I seen it yet, and what did I think of it? The new Scream movie was a movie that eluded me at the cinema. I booked 4 times to go and see it, and every time I had to cancel, so I haven't seen it as yet. My friend is currently getting a big cinema room set up, and we've kind of said that that's going to be the first one that we check out. I'm a huge fan of Scream, so I'd love to know what you thought of it. Cinemaniac saw Life Aquatic in the cinema with his cousins, and they had a great time. Will I be getting The Godfather on 4K? Danny, The Godfather is one of those movies that I've bought so much, and I think I've only watched it maybe once on each format, from video to DVD to Blu-ray. I'm not in a rush to go and buy it because I do know that it's probably best to bide your time, get a cheaper price. Robert ordered 12 Angry Men, which is one of my favourite movies of all time. I absolutely adore that film. That's like a once a year type of watch. Night of the Hunter, great. Moonstruck, great. And The Killing, I've not seen in the Criterion Flash sale. Okay. Nazim Broad. Peter, you bought Funky Forest. I'm kind of curious about that one, so let me know your opinion. I'm sure I'll see a video when you upload one. Life Aquatic was your first Wes Anderson film in the cinema. What was mine? I think it might have been The Fantastic Mr. Fox. White Forest is a big one for you. Oh, Asian movie enthusiast. Hi, Eric. Been wanting to watch that for over a decade. Steve, you splurged 120 on the set, so you've got to be careful this month. That's my monthly budget. You've just destroyed in one purchase. Let's see. So Stand in Silence, you ordered 10 of the £5 films off 88 films. 6 films you didn't have, and 4 slasher classics to take the red cases from and use the disc as a beer coaster. You could probably sell them on eBay if you could be bothered. And Videodrome is amazing. So Fab Myers, you enjoyed the new Scream movie. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and there's some very gory kills in this one. That sounds great. Obviously, it did well when they're pushing, the new one into production almost immediately. Fuzz Aldrin, do I feel satisfied being a Vinegar Syndrome member in 2020 so far? So they've released, I can't remember. So this year, pretty much from, let's see, so Fortress of America was good. Curfew, yeah. Nope. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes. Nope. Yep. Yeah, you know what? There's no standout titles other than Dead Heat, which was amazing in the Gialli set, but I enjoyed quite a lot of them. So, do you know what? So far, I don't feel as if there's been any really egregious releases other than Master of the World, but that's personal taste, so I'm happy so far. Blah blah says 120 quid. Did it come with a horse's head? Wow. I mean, that's an offer that you could refuse, I suppose. You have a full HD projector, not 4K, but it does HDR and projects at 100 inches. So sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I guess. Did I get Hard Target from Kino? No, but I'm hoping my friend across the pond maybe gets that, because I love Hard Target. And I know he's picked up a couple of titles for me. Touch of Evil in 4K, and the upcoming Double Indemnity I'm getting in 4K as well, which I can't wait to get my hands on. Love Videodrome, love The Killing, great new watches. That's good. And we've got Sephiros, good evening. Hello, welcome. And Peter's watching Funky Forest this week. I'll keep my eye out for a video, Peter. Nostromo 80, you just purchased She-Freak, which is sitting back there after my review. I've still to pick up the McPherson tapes. It's the only one I've not got so far. But, need to be careful with the budget. Let's see. The Godfather trilogy is once every decade kind of viewing for me. So you'll grab the 4K set in 2030. You'd probably get it cheaper. Well, there'll be an 8K set at that point. look. But yeah, I agree with that. It's one of those movies that you sit down and soak in. Jordan, Near Dark, The Lost Boys, and Hitcher on 4K this year. Rank them by excitement level. Oh, I do love The Hitcher, and I'm excited because it's Second Sight Films and they do great work. But I know it's a studio release. I can't wait to get Lost Boys in 4K. I really can't. And then The Hitcher and Near Dark last. But they're all terrific movies that I need to get. Peter's been on the yokai films this weekend. Have you made it to the Takashi Miike one yet? Because I think that's really, yeah, not great. Movie Mad, hi folks, hello, welcome. Peter, I know you like iTunes. You get the 4K upgrade there. Good. Cinemaniac, I liked the new Scream about as much as 3 and 4. Watched all of them again this week to get ready. First 3 in theatre, they came out. 1 and 2 really took me back to your high school, college days. I think 1 and 2 are terrific. 3 is an acquired taste, I think, and 4's pretty decent. So I've got high hopes for the new one. I really wish I'd got to see it in the cinema, but like I said, booked it 4 times and just never made it there. Sand and Silence is going to sell his Slasher Classics collection in blue cases, of course, better than buying some German Blu-ray to take the red cases from. A full HD projector playing HD or 4K look terrific on my setup. I do have a projector, but it involves like bringing it down, unpacking it and setting it up. I can't just leave it up all the time because the wife would kill me. Will I be buying anything from the upcoming Vinegar Syndrome sale? You've got a list compiled of what I want and to grab when the time comes. I'm pretty much up to date with most of Vinegar Syndrome. So usually what I do in the sale is maybe pick up 2 or 3 older titles, like the earlier ones. Last time it was like Jack Frost I got and things like that, which was terrific. So I'll probably pick up a couple, 1 or 2, but not too much. The subscription package, I feel as if you're giving enough. And then the partner labels and the VSAs and the VSPs and the VSUs, it all mounts up. So try to keep it controlled. Hello, Terry. You watched the first 2 yokai this weekend. Adored them. That's great to hear. I love the yokai movies, with the first 3 anyway. You just bought Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and 2001 Space Oddity for the Blu-ray Premiere Collection, and then watched them for a second viewing was superb. Yeah, both terrific titles. Absolutely wonderful. The Indicator sales feels like the big elephant in the room Graham is trying to avoid, but for how long? I am missing about 30 titles from the Indicator range, and I don't know if I want to get them all or if I need to get them all. But that's different when they're reduced, obviously, because there's some I probably will pick up. I'm behind on that, and I've pre-ordered March, April, May, and June's Indicator output because they've all been pretty amazing announcements so far. Danny C, you've been watching Barry Lyndon on your projector. Great film. Kubrick's best, in your opinion? Yeah, I guess it's down to personal taste. Barry Lyndon is a great movie. For me, my favourite's always The Shining, but I'm a kind of horror guy. 2001 is probably the one I've seen the most. You're a little bit late, Jordan. Any info on when the Indicator sale is happening? I checked back on my purchase history, and last year I bought stuff around about the 11th in sale prices, and the year before that was the 15th in sale prices. So I'm guessing it may be this Friday coming because it's usually a Friday it starts. I think so. Yeah, I'm thinking Friday. Let's see feature. Which titles from the Cinematic Vengeance box set didn't I like? Okay, so I've watched 4 of them. I've still got the Shaolin movies to watch, which I'm quite excited. So the 7 Grandmasters, amazing, loved it. The 36 Deadly Styles was a bit too comedic for me, although the use of wigs was amazing, and you'll see me mention that in the review whenever I post it, especially Bolo Young with his dreadlock wig. Terrific. The World of the Drunken Master. I wasn't keen on this one. The story was a bit mismatched, and I didn't realise it was set just to block this user. There we go. The World of the Drunken Master just wasn't for me. It just felt a bit all over the place. And the Old Master I really enjoyed, which I imagine a lot of people may not, but I really did. Robert Savage is asking where everybody's from. He's currently in Vancouver. So let everybody know where you're from, and that way we can pinpoint and track you down and stalk you. Hey Mac, does anyone have any info on the Godfather box set? Like, does the 4K set come with the Blu-rays? No, the big collection does. Let's just have a look. Well, it says here on this page for the UK that it's both 4K and Blu-ray. So it's got 3 movies, 5 cuts. Doesn't say how many discs there are. There you go. So it's a 9-disc set, 4 Blu-rays and 4 Blu-ray. That's got to be the 4K, is it? And then 5 Blu-ray discs. Yeah, there you go. You watched the La Possession d'Alter. Ooh, I found footage. I'm well prepared. I've got a notepad and a pen here just in case someone did that. I found footage film from 1974. Sounds pretty amazing. You liked the Altar and Cottonwood. Cottonwood's another one I haven't heard of. Will I be doing a live stream for the Indicator sale? Yes. Yeah, people seem to like those kind of videos, usually because of the undue stress that I put myself under trying to do it. So absolutely, if there's one on Friday, I may do one Friday, or I may do one on Friday if I'm not doing anything else, if I don't have other plans. If not, it'll probably be Saturday, I would imagine, but I'll let everyone know. Last week, Starship Troopers 4K was on Amazon for $13. Wow, that's an amazing deal. So again, last week looked and sounded amazing. The Atmos is a big part of the 4K discs. Absolutely agree. When you first saw it in the theatre, yes, 4K discs are tremendous. You get the upgraded picture; it's fantastic. But I've noticed a real jump in the audio with the 4K discs, and that's something that I really appreciate when it's handled properly. Let's see. Yeah, you want to get someone to watch over me. Pretty good. Jagged Edge, yep, and a few others. You think you make it 12 movies. The shipping to Sweden doubles once you add a 13th film. That's because it's over the £130 limit type thing. Mac is in Dublin. Cinemaniac is in Durham. And Stand in Silence is in Gothenburg. Jordan is in Edinburgh. Let's see. This is great getting to know where everybody's from here. Blah Blah is in Cardiff. Nostromo 80 is in Lancashire. What's going to lay the smackdown on these bots in the chat? Yeah, I'm kind of jumping doing it myself here, which is a bit of a pain. Over the past few weeks, working on a bunch of yet unannounced titles coming from Eureka and 88 Films. All I can say at the moment is start saving your pennies. Just teasing everybody. Let's see. It's the Collingswood story. All right. Okay. Yeah, we got that. Danny is in London. We have Future Boy from San Diego. We're far and wide today. We've got Steve in Norfolk. We've got Cheetah in Lincolnshire. It's rubbish. We've got Amir, who's in London. Oh, I missed someone. We've got Cyphorus, who is in my hometown of Hamilton as well. Yeah, there should be an Arrow one soon. They usually do an Easter sale, so I would imagine that's the start of April, and it'll run for probably a month. Neil is from Scotland. Blah Blah moves into his new house tomorrow, and got your Blu-rays after so long, itching to watch the Human Condition trilogy, along with finally watching all of Andrei Tarkovsky's filmography. I've got Tarkovsky. I won a box set from HMV a long while ago. I can't remember who put it out, but it's got all these movies. I don't think they're the best quality releases, but yeah, it was like limited to 500 units or something. But it's a pretty nice box. I've not cracked it open as yet, although I probably should. And MC Messenger is from Bristol. What movie do I love that everyone hates? See, I'm not sure, because I don't bother if people hate it as long as I enjoy it. Let's see. Movies that I love that everybody... Well, you know what? I like a lot of exploitation movies that people don't seem to like at all. Some may say I've got a little bit of a wacky taste in films. I would say that, yeah, anything kind of exploitation is in my collection. I'm trying to think of something straight away. Do you know what? Drop Dead Fred. I recently got that. I think the movie's hilarious. That seems to be such a divisive movie. People either love it or hate it. Robert, you picked up Muller's Crossing, the Criterion, and you really enjoyed it. I'm a little bit unhappy with Criterion and the Coens for cutting out what I feel is one of the best and most hilarious reactions. Just a few seconds of a scene that they removed, which is truly a terrific scene, and I can't understand why it would possibly be removed from the movie, but they did. I have not seen Stalker, Danny. I do have it again. Like I've got the Tarkovsky ones there, but I've heard that's the big one. You enjoyed most of Tarkovsky's stuff. Definitely art house though. Yeah, you can see that, but it's all about moods. Sometimes you're just in the mood for a horror. Sometimes you want to sit down and think. Sometimes you want an art house movie. And we've got Catch-All Media from Winston-Salem. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It's a way up higher. I would jump up and grab it. And it's got stuff piled on top of it. But that's the one. It's up the top. I've not opened it at all as yet. I wonder if it's on here. There it is. That's the one I got. Won it in a competition a long while ago. It was basically post a picture of your collection, and they just pulled someone at random, and they pulled my name out of the hat. And then they sent me this box set, which I put on a shelf and never watched. Collecting, eh? Has anyone seen The Flesh Eater? The Flesh Eater? I've never heard of that. Let's see if we can have a look at it. No, I've never heard of that one. Sounds a bit wacky, which isn't a bad thing. Stalker, Mirror, and Solaris you've watched, and they're all brilliant. Maybe I should crack it open at some point. Jerome is from Rotterdam. Sephiros fell asleep during Stalker. Everyone seems to hate the new What's New Pussycat, but I love the absurdity of that movie. Yeah, I didn't mind that one at all. Sephiroth, you have Solaris still to watch it. You do like the remake though, so you should like the original. Yeah, I would imagine so. From Ivan's childhood through to Stalker, those 5 are your favourite Tarkovskys. And you have them all on Criterion. You like nostalgia, but The Sacrifice is the one you didn't like as much. Yeah. I love Neon Maniacs, but many roll their eyes when I mention it. I have the German Blu-ray of that. Page, a friend sent that to me a while back. I did review it on the channel and I really enjoyed it. And there you go, blah, blah. Straight up just confirming that. Catch-all Media has a great question. Where should one start with Tarkovsky? That's a great question. I don't have the answer, unfortunately, but maybe someone else can help out here. Years ago, you saw a film where a guy passes out in a shopping precinct. He wakes up locked inside the precinct and having to deal with the security dogs. Any idea what the movie is and what it's called? Nope. Nope, I do not. Carol, that wasn't my letterbox. It's just new from friends what they have been watching. I've not seen Sallow. I don't think I ever want to see Sallow. It just doesn't interest me. Peter is a big Tarkovsky fan. Peter, what's the best one to start with? Hey Andrew, does anyone know if Deliverance is due out on a boutique label? Nope. Would it be the Squeal Like a Pig edition? I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Future Boy with the answer of his advice, don't start with Tarkovsky. What movie do I hate that everyone loves? It takes a lot for me to hate a movie. And I'm trying to think of one that people just utterly love. What I do find is I find that an almost an awareness of pop culture when things are too praised and too loved, it pushes me away in the opposite direction. When people are constantly pushing a movie in your face, this is the greatest thing ever, you have got to watch it. It pushes me in the opposite direction of never watching it. And I'm probably missing out on good films, but that overreaching fandom that's almost forcing a movie upon you can be really disruptive for me. So yeah, I can't think of a specific movie that everyone hates that I love, or one that I hate that everyone else loves. But I'll keep my mind on it, see if I can think. Obviously, a good third of your channel is films that no one else does, that no one else loves. Anthony, feeling a bit of burnt out from watching films. You've gone from 3 a day to about 4 a week. Do I ever go through periods of that? Yes. Yeah, I do. And usually I try to throw in TV series or books, because I do go through a fair amount of books as well. But because I've got myself into this habit of a video a day, I'm constantly playing catch up and trying to watch stuff. And because I get as many movies as I do, I'm constantly trying to clear the watch pile to get through. But yeah, I sometimes feel burnt out. And sometimes you can just slip into just watching comfort movies. If you just watch comfort movies for a little while, that'll sort of bring back your love of cinema. Sometimes it can be a rush of movies that you just don't like that can kind of put you on that slippery slope. But yeah, I always try and go back to familiar favourites to rejuvenate me, or TV shows. Eric says Ivan's childhood has a shorter runtime and is one of his favourites. And Jerome also starts with Ivan's childhood. Where are we? Ivan's childhood is the first one you saw from James, so another one for that. Cinemaniac, his first Tarkovsky was Solaris. Was a fan of the book, so that worked for him. If not, you'd say Ivan's childhood. So okay, so we're getting a consensus here. That seems to be the one. And Carol is in as well. Ivan's childhood is the best place to start. Not so testing on the brain. Yeah. I think the shipping jumps up because of the shipping going into the next bracket. Same increase with adding a 13th film regardless of the prices. Jerome says that Salo is a masterpiece. It's just the content. The content just it doesn't appeal to me. Maybe it's one of these ones that I should just watch and be done with. I can't imagine it's a movie that demands return viewing. The kind of movie that people would be happy to have in a collection. You have to go back to. I know it's a lazy Sunday afternoon. I'm just going to throw on Salo. Come on, kids, come and see this movie. It just doesn't strike me as something like that. Nazimprod, Peter, start with Ivan's childhood. There we go. James Potter, Citizen Kane, surely. I kind of love Citizen Kane. Jerome, you hate Braveheart with a passion. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it. And being Scottish, you're just assumed to love it. BJ London, hello yourself. Mike has joined in as well. Hi, Mike. Mac, you think the Joker is overrated? It's just a mesh of two better films, King of Comedy and Taxi Driver, wrapped up in an own IP. Not bad, just not great. I kind of like Joker, but I fully agree that it is basically Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. Danny, you watched Quaiden recently. Visually stunning, but you won't be revisiting it in a hurry. Fantastic movie. I loved Quaiden. It's been about a year or so since I watched it, and do you know what? I'm kind of feeling the urge to go back and check that one out. Just stunning. I watched it when I was a little bit tired, and it just kind of etched into the dreamlike way the film was made. Ivan childhood it is. Thanks, guys. Oh, there we go. Peter, another Scottish person who loathes Braveheart. What are some of my comfort movies? I like The Burbs, Big Trouble in Little China. Pretty much most 80s movies are my kind of comfort subgenre, almost. Those are things that I've watched a lot, and I just put those kind of movies on and love the hell out of them. Also, the American Pie movies. I understand that they're not great movies, but they make me laugh. And what more do you want? And especially while I'm on that making me laugh, Jackass is a comfort movie. Don't need to follow a story, don't need to worry about anything. You just watch these idiots doing some silly things, having great camaraderie, and I love that. The movies that you hate that everyone seems to love is Mary Poppins, Sugar Sweet Annoyance, and Titanic, as the dialogue writing was so bad I cringed at every Jack Rose searching for each other scene. Stephen hates the Marvel films. Yeah. I kind of get dragged to see most of them. My friend loves them. And some I like, some I never want to think about ever again. Mac was depressed for a week after Salo. Watch at your own peril. Sephiroth does actually like Braveheart, but he hates the accents. Yeah. James says that Salo warrants repeat viewings precisely because you need to get the shock novelty out the way and then go back and appreciate it as a film. I can understand that. Stand in Silence picked up Salo cheap as hell in fine condition from a charity shop. He'll end up watching it like he watched a Serbian film. I mean, why not? I've seen a Serbian film a while ago, and it was one that I just, wasn't a big fan of. What can I say about that? Stiff Kitten's review. You're still alive. Thank goodness. It's been a while since I spoke to you, man. Mike, just on Tarkovsky, start with Ivan's childhood and work your way up to Stalker, Solaris, and Andrei Rublev as their masterpiece. Citizen Kane is great. The trial, however, by Wells is hard work. Neil says he gets what I'm saying about overhyping a movie. as you never watched Annie Hall for the longest time because of it, and then finally seen it and love it from the first monologue by Woody Allen. Yes, it's a strange thing. It's that over pushiness of people who are huge fans of these kind of things that just make me take a step back. It's a weird little quirk. Rublev, yeah. There's Jordan coming in, Scottish again, and we'll say it in a Scottish way as well. I am Scottish and Braveheart is pish. Peter, you just got into Jackass in the past month, or give yourself another week and you will be jumping off your house. Dirty Sanchez, the film, makes Jackass look like babies. Yes, but it's also way more disgusting and disruptive. There's not so much a sense of camaraderie with the Dirty Sanchez guys. It's one-upmanship and genuine pain. Whereas Jackass, it feels more fun and inclusive. James says Citizen Kane is like the film version of the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds album. Tops every poll, but it's hard to see why. Mostly likely it loses its impact because people rave about it. Again, overhyping. You go into a movie thinking that this is the greatest thing ever, and you are kind of stuck going, well, is it? Is it something that I truly love? Why don't I like it as much as everybody else seems to? But it's a movie that's been out for 70 or so years, more than that. It may take a few watches to grow on you or to fully appreciate it. It may never happen. Serial Mum is a comfort movie for me. I love that. I wish that got like a boutique release because that's a terrific movie. Yeah. And Peter thinks Sallow is funny as hell. It's his favourite feel-good comedy. Yeah. Paul, you're looking forward to the first UK Criterion Chaplin release tomorrow, Modern Time. I didn't realise that was tomorrow. I may pick that up myself. Stand in Silence. A Serbian film really didn't feel as bad as I thought. A lot of it was just so absurd. Yes, it 100% is. And I think the thing that got me was it was such a well-made movie. And it had something particularly to say, and it was so absurd, it was just distasteful, but because of the thematics of the story, it fits comfortably within it. So, yeah. 80s Ken Russell, Gothic and Lair of the White Worm. Gothic I haven't seen. Lair of the White Worm I think is terrific. It's a weird oddball of a movie. Yeah, even Hugh Grant is fine in that one for me. A person that's often grating. Danny thinks The King of Comedy is better than Taxi Driver. I think it's a fair argument you can have. Jordan, you didn't mean to ramp up your Scottishness. It is what it is. Stand in Silence would feel 1,000 worse watching those horror movies containing actual animal cruelty than I did watching a Serbian film. Yeah. I think those are being faded out, and the BBFC don't usually release them involving animal cruelty. Stand in Silence loves the Pet Sounds album. Have I seen the new Soderbergh movie? No, Mike, I've not. I've got it on my watch list, and I've also got the last one as well that I missed out on because, again, it was a lot of people were really not saying the best things about it, so it put me off as well. But is it any good? Is it worth checking out? Safiros Dirty Sanchez is atrocious. Blah Blah says that Kimmy is really good. Alex has been rewatching Bond recently. Best Bond films on Her Majesty's Secret Service or Casino Royale. That ski sequence may be the best moment. I'm not a fan of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I don't think it's one of the best Bond movies. I think Casino Royale is probably my favourite out of all of them. I think all the first movies of Bonds are pretty great, whether it be Live and Let Die, which I think is terrific, GoldenEye, which is great, Casino Royale, which is wonderful, or Dr. No, which is pretty terrific as well. Cinemaniac, you just get back into Jackass and saw 2.5 finally. It was great to see Mike Judge join in and try to hang with the craziness. I don't know how those people in Jackass are not just constantly nervous, because it looks like the most horrific toxic environment where you've got to be so nervous all the time that something's just going to happen. Neil, your comfort movie is Where Eagles Dare, Richard Burton and Eastwood killing Nazi soldiers in the most stupendous way possible. I've not seen that in a number of years. I need to revisit that pretty soon, actually. Gestapo's Last Orgy is better than Sallow. Stephen, I've not seen that. That's an 88 film release that only went to America, and kind of annoys me. BJ London, you're in a horror vacation movie phase. Do I have any recommendations? Eden Lake is pretty good. Us would be a horror. I mean, vacation horror movie. Oh, do you know, I don't know if it fits into horror, but Spring is pretty amazing. Yeah, there's some to keep you going. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. Vacation horror. Dog Soldiers is getting a second sight 4K release soon, I think. There is a Shout or Scream Factory release of Serial Mum. Well, hopefully it makes its way over here. I think that'd be the perfect fit for Arrow. Citizen Kane is a masterpiece and one of the best movies ever, but it wouldn't crack your top 50. I think you'd find a lot of people saying that, a lot of film fans. Let's see. You have to work hard not to hype movies for myself at the cinema. Successful at the Batman, less so at the new Scream. Surprised no one has mentioned Human Centipede yet. Yeah. If you're a fan of Obayashi, he directed House, I would strongly recommend The Rocking Horseman. I'll add that to the list. Am I getting the Chucky Deluxe set? Is this the movies or the TV show? I'm not too sure. A Serbian film isn't half as effective as the other notorious works of extreme world cinema. Is Cannibal Holocaust, Solo, or Irreversible? Very average. Shocker. Yeah. But then I can look at Irreversible and think that's a almost perfect movie. It's terrific. But can you really say that about that movie? Deeply affecting. I think it's really well made, really well constructed. And there's Eric. He agrees with you. King of Comedy is a better film, Danny. What's your favourite movie that depresses you? I would say probably Irreversible. Only found it last year, but man, that movie leaves you in a funk. That and The Great Silence. Two movies that you walk away from and you can't watch anything for a couple of days. You feel as if you're under like just a black cloud, struggling to breathe. That's those kind of movies. On Woody Allen, you're currently working your way through his films, and you have to say you've not come across a bad one. You can see why he's one of the greats. Yep. I've got the Woody Allen Arrow sets that came out a long while ago. And a great shout in Citizen Kane. That's exactly how you feel about it. Yeah. So David Kep wrote, which one's that, Mike? I'm getting lost in the chat. The new Kimmy. Yeah, David Kep wrote it. Andy's last one. So yeah, I'll get to them pretty soon. You just watched the first Human Centipede. Same thing as with the Serbian film. Had it picked up cheap and watched it before selling. It was fun to watch, but Serbian film was better. Yeah, Human Centipede's just one of those movies that you want to check out. If you want really an obnoxious, twisted movie, watch Human Centipede 2. Trias El Cristal is an underseen and extremely bleak movie. I've never heard of that one, Jerome. Your comfort film is the original Assault on Precinct 13 because a child gets killed at the start, Peter. And then we have Eric agreeing with you about Trias El Cristal. And the strange one, yeah, pissed off that Riders of Justice is only on DVD here. I've still to check that one out as well. What movies get to your heartstrings, make tears roll down your face, cracking your steely demeanour? Does anything with Madonna starring in it? Because that brings me to tears when I see that. Movies, not in a, like, I don't know if you mean in a happy way, Fabian, but what I'll say is one thing that really affects me in movies is seeing children being hurt in any way, shape, or form. That's something that deeply gets to me. Alex saying the Chucky TV show. No, I've already seen the Chucky TV show. In fact, I've done a thing for the Patreons and the memberships where I have filmed reviews of every episode. I just need to finally get round to editing them and uploading them. But I can say that the Chucky TV show was fantastic. Your comfort comedy film is The Brits from 1976, Mac. Mighty Aphrodite is a brilliant Woody Allen film. Yep. I like Bullets Over Broadway. Red Dawn depresses me. That's because it's about to happen in reality. Mouche is one of the best but depressing films. I'm selling Irreversible, Sapphires. Just know I'll never watch it again. No, I'll watch it again. It's a hard movie to watch. It's a hard one to take, but I think it's really well done. Grave of the Fireflies is one of the best movies that most depressed me. Yeah, Luke talks about that, and another friend of mine really goes on about that. What do I think is the best slasher film ever made? It's for you, it's The Burning. I think my favourite slasher movie ever is possibly Scream, but prior to that, it was A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which I thought was just kind of nailed everything in A Nightmare on Elm Street. But Scream, I think, is probably my favourite. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really, because it was something that just rejuvenated the slasher genre after it was long dead. Yeah, I've not seen much of Woody Allen's recent ones, James. Did everyone have a phase of just testing their endurance for the most extreme films? You've seen loads, and you can't be doing them anymore, though. Too depressing. Mordom and Angels, Melancholy are messed up. No, I just... You know, you feel as if sometimes you should tackle certain subgenres, but at the same time, you're just like, why bother if you're not enjoying it? Days of Wine and Roses is a real downer, but it's great performances from Jack Lemmon and Lee Remick. Have I seen Gold starring Zac Efron? It's a very good movie. No, I haven't, because I've not been seeing much recent movies. So, no, I haven't got to it. The Human Centipede is by Dutch director, from the Netherlands. Tom Six, isn't it? If you want a creepy, hidden gem found footage films, check out these. Atrocious, Blackwater Vampire, Evidence, Digging Up the Marrow, St. Francisville Experiment, Paranormal Entity, The Dark Forest. Okay, can I copy that? Yes. Personally, Woody, I think the greatest decade for movies was 80s. Because it's the time I grew up, and there's so many movies that I just love from there, the things that just can't be captured. Again, absolutely love it. Glaba says, Carol, yes, tend to go for blockbuster big films during lockdown. Before I would be moaning about the new Mortal Kombat, but you loved it. It's fair enough. I find it's a struggle to really find myself enthused or energised about new movies, even things that I would normally have devoured, like Halloween Kills, the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new Scream. I love Scream. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. I didn't bother seeing any of the latest ones because I don't know. I just had no impetus to do it. Alex says that The Last of the Mohicans brings tears to his eyes because of the last scenes with Alice. Neil thinks the Elephant Man is his most depressive movie. Peter says Dead Ringers is my favourite depressing movie. Oh, the final scene. Wow. Yeah. Loved Annie Hall, which you've mentioned so far. Which other Woody Allen movies should you check out? Bullets Over Broadway, absolutely. Manhattan. Let's see, I'm trying to think what other ones. Well, I'll let the chat fill that up. Mike doesn't like Irreversible. Remember watching it long after it came out. Shite, and you can't stand Gasper now. Useless. Own your opinion, Mike. I'm looking forward to seeing Into the Void from Arrow soon, because I haven't seen that, and I think it looks pretty great. The Brood and Carrie are the most depressing films I've ever seen. I've never considered those as like depressing films, but I can see where you're coming from. The movie that brings tears to my eyes is Schindler's List. I've not seen that in a long while. Alex, been on a Cronenberg roll. Videodrome, Dead Ringers, great. I think Dead Ringers is probably my favourite. Crash, History of Violence, Existence. Yeah, Existence is great. James asks, are there any films that I've started to watch on multiple occasions but never finished? No. It's almost like an effort, I feel it's an endurance test to get through a movie. So there's no movies that I've really started and not watched. I usually just sit there and get it done as quickly as possible. Sometimes films are harder to sit through and get to the end, but no, I usually get there. The Brood is one weird film. You saw a screening of it in a horror film club and got it on Blu-ray. You should rewatch it. Neil's favourite era is the 60s to the late 70s. Turn the Blue Iris. Late to the fashionably late. So you're all right. You think your favourite depressing film would be Kes? Yeah. Bullets Over Broadway. Yeah. Have I seen Licorice Pizza? No, I haven't. You loved it like all P.T. Anderson films, but it's as problematic as it was. The scene with the guy doing the Asian accent to his Japanese bride had you rolling with laughter. No, again, I've really not been watching a lot of new movies. It's all been older stuff because I've really kind of moved into the boutique market a lot more. But I probably should sit down and watch a lot of these films that I've missed. Into the Void is probably Noah's best. Great, good to hear that, Doreen. Let's see. Sega CD Universe. Hey, what's happening yourself? BJ London, thoughts on Don't Look Up starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence on Netflix. Now, when I was talking about movies that was an endurance test, I liked Don't Look Up. It was kind of funny. It was overly long, and I had to stick with it at certain points. But I thought the performances were good, and it was interesting enough. But Oscar winner. I'd be surprised. I don't think it deserves it, but there we go. Nostromo Plague Dogs gets you every time. Dead Ringers is very good. And let's see. The Swimmer is one of my top 10 films and depressing to boot. You love the dreamlike quality. Do you know, while I've got Letterboxd up, I'll just log my movie that I watched today. I watched Bad News Bears. Let's see. The Swimmer, yeah, we'll have that. And one of your best comfort films is Singing in the Rain. Also one of your top 10 films and your mum's favourite. So excited the 4K is coming out before her birthday. You have it pre-ordered. I've been trying to sort a top 10, a top 100, a top whatever of my favourite movies of all time. And it's fluid, always changing, because I wanted to do a video on it. But I just can't nail it down. Every time I look at it, I want to change things. It's one of those lists I've got on Letterboxd somewhere where I'm just struggling to get it sorted. Woody Allen films to watch: Zelig, Broadway Danny Rose, Everything You Want to Know About Sex, the Gene Wilder bit, Say No More, Crimes and Misdemeanors. Paul says Yield to the Night is seriously depressing. Blabla says Existence you loved in the 90s but you feel it's aged too much. Johnny Mnemonic though, I hated in the 90s, aged more but love it now. That's good to hear. I'm a big fan of Johnny Mnemonic. I'm looking forward to the new release. I love Dolph Lundgren. He just owns it. It's great. Alex is going to watch Peaky Blinders. I believe a few people may give On Her Majesty's Secret Service another watch. It would be... I've seen it several times. I'm not a fan of it. Dalton tested for the role, but he was too young. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, it was a great announcement, just getting all those Noe movies. Do you think Scorsese ever reached the heights of Goodfellas since? I think The Wolf of Wall Street comes incredibly close, but I'd still rather watch Goodfellas every time. P-War says, Watership Down is thrilling, but they don't make them like they used to. That is for sure. I remember seeing that when I was a kid on TV and being seriously traumatised. Thank you, Woody Allen style of comedy, so you appreciate the recommendations. For the first time ever, you pre-ordered the month package at Indicator. You don't want to miss out on the Noir Bogart set. Yes, I'm super excited about that. Although, a little bit weird why they've put in one movie he's produced. It seems odd. Hey, maybe a great movie. Same, your top 10 is pretty movable, although there are 3 films that are always non-negotiable. Yeah, I'm the same. I think there's 5 there that just will not move. My top 100 movie, your top 10 movies would have 100 honourable mentions. That's what I'm struggling with. Margin Call with Kevin Spacey, great movie. Have I seen that? I'm not too sure. Hard to top Requiem for it, that's for sure. Requiem for a Dream is seriously depressing. Ellen Burstyn is phenomenal in that, she usually is. Am I looking forward to the film X? Yes. That looks like a proper, it feels like Texas Chainsaw Massacre just from the trailers. It looks pretty terrific. Will I be ordering in the Severance sale in May, and do you get hit by customs? I seem to be lucky with customs so far, touch wood. But I've never really been, I think once I've been hit with customs, wasn't too bad. Will I be ordering in the Severance sale? Maybe. Depends on my budget. I would love to get all the Hauntsby Hours set. I know it won't be in the sale, but that's the kind of big one I'd like to get, but it's expensive. Hey, Fab, enjoy Peaky Blinders. I try to make them more often. Let's see, Margin Call is a very underrated movie. And look, favourite horror movie of all time. Do you know what? I feel as if it should be something else, but one that the one I've watched the most, the one that I've had the most enjoyment with, is probably Scream with Texas Chainsaw Massacre next. Ellen Burstyn is 89, much older than you think. That can't be true, surely not. Okay, guys, it is 9 o'clock. I'm going to head because at this time I go and read some Goosebumps with my daughter, and it's time for that. Not watching Peaky Blinders, I'm reading Goosebumps. It's been great hanging out, chit-chatting with you guys. I'll try to come back pretty soon. If there's a sale coming soon, I will indeed be doing a video and stressing over what to spend. But thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time on the stream. Bye.